Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. Why you sitting like that?
Oh, aren't you guys jealous that you don't get to have coffee with Jason every day?
What? Anyways, this tiny house is going up pretty quick, and what am I doing? It's done.
That's what I was wondering.
I'm gonna give up YouTube.
I'm gonna sell firewood for a living.
No, I ain't do nothing. Save up enough money before the house is done to pay my taxes for
next year.
More than 1 year. But I don't know. I've thought about it a lot and stuff, and it's like I think the house will be completely finished by the end of the year. Realistically, like inside,
decoration
outside,
and everything?
like everything by the end of the year. That's my goal. Is by Christmas to have the house completely finished, because at that point I'll have been here for a year. Because I'm pretty sure I moved up the day after Christmas, I think is what it was. And I would like to be completely finished. It gave me time to live the more survivalist type way, I guess, at the beginning. It gave me time to build all that stuff. And but what's next? Pretty much I want to slow down and live a little bit, live out here, kind of relax, that type of thing. But I'm hoping by then my woodworking channel will have done halfway decent, because I would really like to start focusing a lot on that. That's like a big goal of mine, is to build like really cool tables and stuff of that nature. Not really, I mean, I'd sell them, of course, but not really to start like a business out of it. Just more of, now I have time to build what I want. And again, not even so much of like for me to keep it or just to sell and make money or anything. Just, I'm a very creative person, and I've come up with ideas, and I always want to see if I could do them. And unfortunately, I never had the money or the time or anything, resources. And now I'm getting some tools again. I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll have some type of woodworking shop that I can have all my tools in, a place to do that, and not have to build on the porch, anything of that nature. But after the house is done, I have a project in mind. I can't really talk about it yet, but I have multiple projects, I guess. I don't know how to talk about this without telling them.
So exciting things are in the works, basically, is what you're saying.
Yes. It won't be another tiny house like this or anything, I can say that. Now, would I build another tiny house? Probably eventually, yeah. I definitely would like to have room for guests to stay and whatnot, family and stuff. And then hopefully with the land that I'm getting, that'll pan out and I could do something with that. But I guess a big project of mine, really and truly, that has nothing to do with like houses or anything, I would really like to restore an old Jeep. An old like 40s, military Jeep. That's been a dream of mine for years and years and years. And I don't really know anything about engines or anything like that, but when you get back into them old Jeeps, they're very basic, very easy compared to vehicles nowadays that have nothing but electronics and computers and stuff in it. A Jeep is a very basic machine, but to me it's like the ultimate machine. Like, I love old Jeeps, so that's something I'd like to get into, I guess. But I've been asked if I would ever live in a normal house again if I moved away from here. I'd consider it. I don't know how you guys would feel as a YouTube channel if I bought a house and I didn't live this lifestyle. That'd be interesting if y'all would even follow along anymore with that. But I guess another dream of mine has been to buy a fixer-upper. And, it's like when we worked at the camp house at the ranch. we fixed it and stuff, but we didn't get to really like live in it. We didn't get to really do anything with it. Um, and then this, of course, was from the ground up, but there's just something different between building from the ground up, which is a huge thing, which I'm very, very excited for with this to be finished. But then to take, say, 100-year-old house and redo it, that's like a cool another thing. So I definitely learned that I don't like to build structures from the ground up. I'd rather just renovate than create.
I think finding an old house, like a really old house that's built really well, that's also a fixer upper would be super cool.
Yeah, I got coffee grounds up in my feet.
We actually found a pretty odd old small house in Terrell a while back, and it was like the location was super cool. It was very weirdly built, but like that would have been a cool fixer upper.
Weirdly built. Are we talking about the same thing? The one next to Jared's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's not weirdly. It's just small.
It was small and like it was like a 2-story, and I don't know. To me, it was weird.
Like just a
unusual.
tiny house.
But not like a tiny house. It was just a very small house.
Yeah. Stuff like that would be very interesting to me. I don't think I could ever stop building things or creating things. That's just who I am. I think it's cool that you learn more and more. Like with this house, I never really framed anything up from the ground up. I built like walls and stuff in the house, but I've never built literally from the ground up, and I've learned a lot. If I wish when I first started this, I had no money. So the foundation of this is not what I wish it could have been. It's fine, but I wish it had been way more beefed up and cement pillars and all that type of stuff. But no budget, limited knowledge, stuff of that nature. So if I could build again, I get to take all that experience with me and do that. But I'm really curious what you guys would think if I found, I don't know, my ideal property is definitely like 40, 50 acres or above, but I'd settle for like 10, 20, depending on where it is. It really depends on the scenery. And it's like here, I got 5 acres. Really, truly, I used like a quarter of an acre because of the hills and whatnot. So I've definitely learned how to utilize a very small piece of property, but I would like to have 4-wheelers and stuff and go, around and have shooting ranges and, stuff of that nature. Like I would, that'd be like the settle down place. This, really and truly, to be completely honest, some of you can be mad, but I don't really care. This property, of course, is free. We were going to buy property down in South Oklahoma. It was going to be a huge commitment, way more money than it cost to live up here in some of this area. I say that for what it was, and that was strictly off-grid, no electric, no water, anything. Like that would have got us in the hole big time. And whenever we were offered this for free from Dutch and then Bo, it was kind of a business deal, I guess, but on one end of it, but it was something we just said, you know what, we're not even sure if we would even like to live off grid full time or whatever. It's a very low investment. Let's do it and let's see what happens type thing. And of course, I came up and roughed it and all that, but that's kind of why we ended up in this spot. The price was right and it worked out and all that stuff. So really and truly, this was never my ideal spot. My very first thought when we got here was like, heck no.
It looked a lot different.
Well, the hill
yeah.
and everything. I'm like, dude, this is not usable. And at this point, we didn't know it was going to be free. We just thought he was going to sell it to us for pretty cheap or something. And I was like, yeah, I don't, it's not terrible, but I'm not trying to really spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on this land and then have to spend more money to even build a structure. So I was like, and then Dutch was basically said, I'm just gonna give it to you guys. And then my buddy has this other side that kind of help him with his YouTube channel. You can have that, and we're a business deal. And I was like, well, for free 50, yeah. you'd be stupid to really pass that up. So this was really a stepping stone in the grand scheme of things. Now, how long that stepping stone will last, I don't know. Now, as soon as it's done, am I going to up and leave? No, not at all. I want to live here. Now this is something that can literally be here. It's paid off. Like, there is no debt whatsoever in this house. It's literally here. So even if, get another property or whatever, if Jaylene is still traveling, this is a place she could stop if, friends and family want to come out, that type of thing. I would really like someone to live here if I'm not going to live here. That way,
you just know it's always taken care of.
Yeah, it gets utilized, gets watched over, and all that. So it will not go to waste at all. And again, if I ever get new property, it's not going to be that far from here. So this is the perfect summer, go to the river, come up here, hang out type of thing. Even in the winter, it's cool. But yeah, my ideal place would be a lot more acres, a lot more flat area. I don't care if it's kind of on an incline. It's like the Sawyer's house. There's no level spot on their property, but it's a lot more level than here. So, something that nature. Of course, when you're like in the hill country part, or like this is the bottom of the Ozarks, so can't really expect flat. But yeah, I'm very curious what you guys would say if I bought property and kind of went different with the channel. Not really. I'd still like to live off grid, but if it had power and stuff, I'm not gonna lie to you. Power's not an issue, it's internet. If I had internet to upload videos and stuff, my life would be way easier. Oh my gosh. Way easier.
Well, there's other things that you'd like to do, but you just can't because of the internet issue.
Yes. So, yeah. I have so many ideas, again, that I want to do. It's just internet. So, the electrical part and the water part is really truly not been an issue to me at all. Literally been here almost a year and it doesn't faze me at all. I've learned to use very little. We'll shower all week from about 5 gallons of water, if that. So, pretty easy. And then the generator, I just hit 800 hours on my generator. So, not having normal power is not really a big deal. And then we got some solar stuff. But I guess with you, if you kind of travel for a while and then finally got to that point where it's like, all right, I've had enough, what's your settle down type situation?
I don't know. Like,
would you try to go back to the city?
No. Every time I go back, I'm just like, I hate it even more.
Yeah.
I just get so angry, like, whether I'm sitting in traffic or just, like, the people driving around me.
No one cares.
I just want to punch them in the face.
Not in the face, in the throat. That's a way better spot.
But yeah, I would love to, like, move into a cabin in the woods, like, away from everybody. Like, that would be my dream. I'm not opposed to, like, any type of, like, whether, like, if I'm on my own, I buy a little cabin in the woods, or, like, I would be open to doing a tiny house or a shed to house or something different. I don't know. I don't really have a set goal or anything, but I definitely want to be away from people.
Yeah, I learned that. And here too, it's like there are a few neighbors. Like, one guy owns property not too far from here, and he's had it for ever since I've been here, since way before that. But he just came back, and now I'm like, it's just a little too close. Nothing wrong with the guy. I've had no issues with him. It's been a day, but I've had no issues with him. But just knowing that now someone's right there, I'm just like, man, like, we had some neighbors up the way, and I'm cool with all of them, but it's like that gave us enough distance between each other that it's not really an issue. And I'm hoping it won't be an issue with this person, but just knowing that people are closing in, I'm like, man. So, I don't know, it's one of those things that I just like my privacy and my space. So
it's kind of the reason why you're buying the new property, right?
Correct. So, yeah, I do have new property in the works. Hopefully it works out. But, yeah, it'll just gives me a little more space, I guess. And, I don't know. It's just, anyone that lives in the country probably prefers to be as far away from anyone else as possible. Um, it was a little different, like at Jared's place when we lived there. Having neighbors like Tom and Rhonda and stuff. Now we had some other neighbors that they ended up leaving, but it wasn't a huge issue, but it was somewhat of an issue. And you can't really pick your neighbors. And luckily, sometimes you get people like Tom and Rhonda where it's like family, but then sometimes you can get the neighbor from hell, pretty much. So I don't know. That's why I would like to get just middle of nowhere, do my own thing, that type of, you know, situation, I guess. So here is a really good stepping stone. It helped me learn to build. It gave me a place to kind of be out in the middle of nowhere, close to a river, all that stuff. Um, I don't regret this property at all, but I don't I don't prefer it to be my forever home. I could live here forever. I just don't really prefer that. But yeah, that'd be kind of after this tiny house. Kind of my goal would be really starting to like, in no rush, but try to find my forever home and save money. And like right now, a lot of my money, the majority of it goes in the house. So that's a big chunk of your budget every month. And YouTubers get paid once a month. So luckily, I'm pretty much debt free. So I have one credit card, and I use it just to build my credit. So I spend like gas and stuff on it, and then I pay it back. But I'm just trying to build my credit. So technically, I'm not debt free because I have that credit card. But in the grand scheme of things, I could pay that credit card off at any moment, and I'm completely debt free. So I don't know. It's something that I'm excited about, but I'm in no rush. I always look every day. Jenny's like, "What are you doing? Looking at stuff on Facebook Market that you'll never buy?" And I'm like, "Yep."
Is that what I sound like?
No, you sound more like, "What are you doing?" And so, yeah, I'm trying to educate myself on land prices, what houses are worth around here, stuff of that nature. I even thought about flipping houses. Invest money in buying old rundown houses and flipping it, and if Jaylena's around here, she could help out, Sawyer, stuff like that, and then of course we split the profit or whatever, whoever helps and whatnot. But I thought about doing that because I like to create, and then one day I may come across my forever home. But
one day you might flip your own forever home and buy it for yourself?
Possibly. But right now, this coffee's kicking in.
Yeah, I just drank all mine, and there's a bunch of grounds in the bottom.
I mean, it's kicking in a different way.
I know what you meant.
So, we'll go ahead and call it on that one.
Yep, I got a meeting I gotta attend.
So do I. You actually do have a meeting.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know your thoughts if I ever up and left and got a normal house. What'd you guys think?